If you are looking for a smart new way to learn new skills or get more information around a new topic that you are interested in, I have something for you in this video. It is called NotebookLM by Google. In this video, you will learn what NotebookLM is and why it is different from ChatGPT or others. You will know what sources you can upload to it and how to build your first own notebook. Besides that, I will show you what type of outputs your notebook can generate for you based on your sources. And after all, I will provide you some examples so that you can start right now after this video. So first of all, what is it? NotebookLM is a free AI research tool from Google. The key difference to others is that it only works with the sources that you provide to it. Therefore, there are no hallucinations and every answer is grounded in your own material. Every response comes with citations you can click and verify. It is basically your personal AI that has read everything you uploaded and nothing else. So to have a better understanding, let's jump right into NotebookLM. Okay, so now let's have a look on NotebookLM. So what I've done here so far is I basically opened the main page of NotebookLM and I've logged into my Google account. Now here you have the overview of your own notebooks that you have created so far, or a list of featured notebooks provided by Google or others. But we want to create our own notebook. So let's do that. So here we are getting asked what sources we want to add. But before we do that, I will just skip the part and have a look on NotebookLM. So first of all, before we create our own notebook, we have to get an idea on what do we want to achieve with it. For this example, I thought that it would be cool to learn something about American football and the National Football League. So let's name it NFL Learning Notebook. On the left side, you can see our sources. In the middle, we have a chat window, and on the right side, we have the so-called Studio, where we can generate our output based on our sources. For the sources, we have several options. We can add our own files by adding our sources, having it drag and drop or upload it for several different supported file types, from PDFs, video files, image files, audio files, a lot of different types. Besides that, we can add websites and also include our Google Drive. But for this example, I've prepared one file, which I will just drag and drop right here. And this is the official NFL rulebook as a PDF file that I've downloaded from the NFL website. So while this file is uploading, we can add other files. So let's just add few websites, and here I will just paste any links, and I've included the Pro Football Hall of Fame website. So let's add this, and then we can just add the NFL.com website. And for the last one, we could add the ESPN website with the specific category of the NFL. Now we have uploaded the rulebook and 3 different media sources, and now we can have additionally a web search or a Google Drive search and decide on if we want to have a fast research or a deep research. So if we need any more sources, we can do this here in this window directly, or click add sources and then search here. Now let's do a quick research on NFL season recap 2025, including all highlights, news, trades, and other topics. Okay, so now after a short search, we can see all the results. Before we import them, I would recommend you to check them. Now we can open them here and basically deselect all the sources and start selecting the ones that we want to import. So a Wikipedia page on the 2025 season makes sense. Then the second one is an NBC Sports, I think. Final review and look ahead analysis for the 32 teams. We can include that too. Then we have a Super Bowl recap. I will skip that. We have a trade deadline tracker. This could be interesting. We have a list of NFL honors and award winners. This is great. And so you can basically decide what recommended sources you want to import or not. Now we have uploaded all the sources. As you can see here, they are all available and all marked. And in the middle now you can basically ask questions and chat with your sources. You can have here a general overview and you have a few recommended questions that you can ask, but we will just ask what was the main highlight of the 2025 season and see what it will figure out. So here you will have the results. You obviously get the information that the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl. I guess that is obviously the main highlight. And then you will have here a list of other international presence, expansion news, and so on and so forth. A lot of records. But this is quite easy so far because you could Google this too. Now, the main advantage is obviously that you Google it based on your sources. But the real power, in my opinion, is on the Studio tab. So let's have a look on the Studio tab and explore what we can do there. So as you can see here, you have 9 different Studio options. You can have an audio overview, which is basically an AI podcast based on your sources. So you can have your own podcast generated and listen to it while walking or anything else. You can generate a presentation of your sources. You can have a explainer video. You can generate a mind map, report, flashcards in order to learn content. You can have a quiz, an infographic, or a data table. So let's explore a few of them. And for this case here, I will generate flashcards and also a quiz and maybe an infographic. So now let's start by creating our first outputs. So on some of these, you can see that there is a small arrow. This small arrow allows you to have a prompt or more information before creating. For example, if we look into the slide deck, then we will have this pop-up opened where we can decide if we want to have a detailed deck or presenter slides, where we can choose the language and where we can basically have a prompt within the generation. So we could add our corporate identity, our style guidelines as a source, as a file here, and then could refer to it. So in order to have our presentation, our PowerPoint slides in our corporate colors. And you can also include your logo or different recommendations or promptings before creation. But as you know, I want to learn something about the NFL, so I will have some learning cards or flashcards created for me. So before we create them, let's have a look on customization. Okay, so here we can choose how many cards we want. We want more, and the level of difficulty. Yeah, I would start with medium. Then we could tell them what topic should be included. For this case, I think that we are good to go with a general creation, and I will just generate them. Now, while they are generating, I can also start to generate a quiz. Here is the same thing. We can have more because we are new and we want to learn, and the quiz should also be medium. Now for the last part, while they are generating, I want to have an infographic, and here I can choose the language. I can have the orientation, let's say landscape. I like the clay style for whatever reason, and the level of detail should be standard. So you get the idea. I think you have to play around with all these options and find the ones that fits you the best. Now we can see that our flashcards are done, and let's have a look into them. Okay, so here is our first learning question. Who won the Super Bowl? As I can imagine, this should be the Seattle Seahawks. So let's see the answer, and we are right. So it's the Seattle Seahawks. First easy answer. Let's have a check mark. We did that correctly. Who did the Seattle Seahawks defeat to win the Super Bowl? That is also quite easy because these were the New England Patriots. But if we have no clue, we can obviously check the answer and see that they are. So this one is quite tough. What was the final score of the Super Bowl? To be honest, no clue. So let's see the answer, 29-13. Now we can explain the answer. If we click that, then we will have a chat progression, and I can imagine that it will have now the reference to the source where the exact results are shown. Okay, so now we got way more explanation that we needed, but we get then also the detailed information around the Super Bowl game, around the Seahawks highlights, the Patriots highlights, and the whole event. So now here on the flashcards, we can obviously click through the others and have our learning progression. Okay, so now let's have a look on the other output. We have the NFL quiz and we have our infographic. So let's see how the infographic looks like. It's called 2025 Professional Football Season Highlights. So I'm quite curious. I didn't have a look in it. Okay, so this is quite cool. This is now basically an infographic of the 2025 season in our clay style. So now here we can see Matt Stafford basically claims the MVP. You can see all his stats. You can see who won the Super Bowl with what score. You can basically see that there was a modernized overtime and kickoff rule based on the rulebook. You can see that Cam Ward was the first overall pick. Myles Garrett broke the sack record with 23 sacks per season. He was the defensive player of the year. And you can see changes in other rules. So that is quite impressive and I really like this picture. Now let's have a look into the quiz. Okay, so which team defeated the New England Patriots? We saw it right now in the infographic. We get a short explanation here. Let's jump to the next question. According to the 2025 rule changes, where does the receiving team start its possession if a kickoff sails into or beyond the end zone for a touchback? Tough question. I think 25 was the old rule. Let's still call it 25. No, it's 35 now. So as you can see, I have to learn something. Then who selected the first overall pick? Cam Ward. Which significant change was made to the regular season overtime rules? I think that's A. Both teams are guaranteed a chance to possess the ball. Okay. Now we don't want to do this whole quiz, but you get the idea what you can do with this output. Now, what output you generate depends basically on what do you want to achieve with your learning process and basically also what your sources provide to you. But what I would recommend is that you really play around with these types and try in order to get a feeling what you can expect and how good it works. I hope you have a good understanding of what NotebookLM can do for you and why this matters. In my opinion, passive watching or learning or reading of content is slow learning. With NotebookLM, you are enabled to turn passive content into an active knowledge base. You can work with it, you can analyze it, you can ask it, and you can basically have your own learning path based on your individual needs. I think this is how fast learning is looking in 2026. So there are a few examples how you can use NotebookLM. You can create PDF to podcast. You can basically provide a written document and have an audio content created around it. You can have your research or learning assistant like described in this video. You can learn new topics quite fast. You can study a book faster, for example. You can upload your summaries or your chapters and you can then quiz yourself with all the content that you want to learn. You can prepare your own meetings in the working environment by uploading background documents and notes and ask it basically, what do I need to know before this meeting? But be aware, obviously, you have to double check what content you are allowed to upload into Google or not. And the last one is you can have your own content source library where you can upload your own notes and scripts and find connections and generate new ideas around that. So before we leave this video, I would highly recommend that you use NotebookLM and play around with it like I did in this video, just to get a feeling of what is it capable of and how you can maybe use it in your daily life. Start with one clear learning goal. You want to get information about a dog breed, about a sport, or whatever it is. Ask specific questions and play around with the capabilities of the studio. Play around with the filters, your personal settings, and find the best way for you. And I would also encourage you to use the audio functionalities to have a passive review on the go. So tell me, what do you want to build a notebook around? What is your first notebook? What do you want to learn? A course, maybe a book, a work project? I would really appreciate if you could drop it into the comments. I read every single one. And if you've learned something in this video together with me and you really liked this video, I would highly appreciate if you could like this video and also subscribe to my channel to not miss any further videos. This is Hardy, thanks for watching and see you on the next video.